are the two books that I want to share with you guys today. Mainly Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Cashflow Quadrant is more of like an honorable mention that I will talk about at the end. 7 years ago, I was broke, and now I'm running 3 businesses, and I'm taking you guys along that journey of how I've done it and how I'm currently doing it. Welcome to day number 49. We're on day number 49, and we're going for a 100-day vlog streak. The 3 businesses we have around here are a company called Mic Cover. It is a company I started at the beginning of this year where we're making microphone covers for the Shure SM7B and SM7B. They come in a bunch of different colors. You can customize them how you like. Put stickers on them, draw on them, whatever. We made them to help you personalize your guys' podcast, video game streaming channel, whatever you guys use a Shure SM7B for. And then we also have a company called the Fitness Parlor. It is a gym I started back in 2021. And then I also have a rental company. So the rental company has long-term rentals. It has some billboards in it, and it also we do some flip houses throughout the year. And we're actually working on a house right now that we're going to turn into a short-term rental that we'll put on Airbnb and see how that does. So that'll be our first one. We're working on it currently. So go back and watch some of the old vlogs if you guys want to get caught up on where we're at on it. And we won't work on it till probably Wednesday this week because my 4-year anniversary for the gym is on Tuesday. So that's gonna be a big day. We do a pull-up contest, we give money away, all that fun stuff. What I wanna talk about today, it is Sunday, and I wanna talk to you guys about the books that really changed my life, the things that changed my mindset from a poor mindset to a rich mindset, or a mindset that helps me make money. And so I have a book and an author, same person, same deal, same collection, that was the big determining factor for me. So I want to share that with you guys today. But first, I have a mic cover that sold last night, sometime in the middle of the night. So I have to get that packed out real quick. I'll take you guys along my packing process, which only takes a minute or two, and then I will sit down and show you guys the books, talk to you guys about the books, why the books meant so much to me. But if you guys are new to the channel, I want to let you guys know that the purpose of this channel, the goal of this channel, is to help inspire you guys to quit your 9-to-5 job and go start that business that you guys always wanted to start. Whether it's a coffee shop, whether it's a corporation where you have 500 employees, whether it is a rental company or a mic cover company or a gym or whatever it is. This is just this channel is to show you guys and inspire you guys to go start your own business so you guys can see what it's like for me, or what it might be like for you to run a business and to have some more freedom in your life to kind of do what you guys want. Because I know it can be scary at first to quit your job and go start that business because you don't know if it's going to make any money. But this channel, I will show you guys what it's like running your own business. If you guys love that business, I promise it will succeed. If it is something that you guys actually care about, and you're not only worried about the money, but you also just really care about what you do, you will succeed. I promise. All right, let's pack this out really quick. It only takes a couple minutes, and then I will show you guys those books. I apologize about the echo in this part of the video. Whenever you guys I have to set the camera up on a tripod, so I have both my hands free to do this. And sometimes it's got an echo to it. Because I'm in, so if you guys don't know, I run mic cover out of my basement for right now. And we call it our DIY warehouse. And for right now, we're doing it out of the basement because our money is better spent on reinvesting into the company to get more product, different colors, more microphone covers for different microphones. So right now we're trying to just be frugal since it is a new startup that I just started at the beginning of this year. So yeah, we do it out of the basement. It works out really well. Tossing some stickers in for them. I tossed in a thank you card for them. This is a blue cover. I didn't get to see who the cover is going out to. So if you guys ordered a blue cover here recently, it's probably for you. And thank you guys so much for the order. We really appreciate it. I still got to print off the label. That's why I don't know who ordered it just yet. I just got the notification on my phone. It tells me how many got ordered and also what color. Outside of that, I have to really go into the details to figure out who it is, all that kind of stuff. But see, very quick and easy. I actually like to toss on a mic cover sticker on the top. That way when it comes in the mail, they can see what it is, because it comes in a mailer box, and yes, the mailer box on the inside is designed, says mic cover with a bunch of little microphone covers or microphones, but the outside is just plain and boring, just for shipping purposes. But I like to throw a mic cover sticker on top. I think that builds a little bit of hype. Just whenever you get it, it's exciting. You're like, oh cool, my mic cover finally came in. So easy to go. Okay, so I'm going to take you guys back a little bit. So back in the day, before I had the vlog here, I had a podcast. And in the podcast, I had my bookshelf with all the books that I loved. This shelf here, because we did a little bit of drinking and smoking cigars on it. And I had this banner that just says, chase your dreams and hard work beats talent. Because those are two things that I like to constantly remind myself that when life gets hard, I know that I have the ability to work really hard. And it doesn't matter if I'm talented at that or not. As long as I'm willing to work hard enough in it, I will succeed in it. And then the chase your dreams is just to remind myself to keep doing what I want to do in life. And these are all the people that came on my podcast that were amazing, that have helped me become the person I am today. And just some of the other goodies also as well. But on this bookshelf, I have this book right here, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which we're going to talk about today. And then where's my other one? I know I have it. I don't know where my book's at. Let me go look. It might be up on my nightstand upstairs, because I might have been reading it or rereading it sometime and just never brought it back down to my shelf, because it's got to be around here somewhere. These are the two books that I want to share with you guys today. Mainly Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Cashflow Quadrant is more of like an honorable mention that I will talk about at the end. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki is a book that was something that really changed my mindset and really helped me. It really helped me break free from the 9-to-5 rat race, like just being stuck in it. So when I found this book, I was working in a body shop, I was actually working 7 to 3:30 was my shift, and I had been in a body shop for years, and it was good. Like it was paying my bills, but I was just barely getting by on it. And I knew something was wrong. Like I had always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to own my own business. I always wanted to do my own thing. So I had it like naturally in me to want to go out and start my own business, but I had no formal education. And Robert Kiyosaki talks about financial literacy. So he talks about someone like me, I didn't have any financial literacy. I didn't learn anything about how to properly make money and make me money. So when I was in a body shop, I knew I wanted to start my own business, and I had nobody to turn to, and I was listening to a lot of podcasts. Somebody had actually told me in life that if you want to make money, because they knew I want to own my own business, and he told me, like, if you want to make money, you're going to need at least 3 types of income to really help yourself out. And so then I did some Googling. I think the thing I actually typed in was 3 different types of income. And I was hoping that it would give me ideas for 3 different businesses. And it was actually an article, a blog from a lady that she had wrote years ago. And she said that there's 3 types of income. There's earned income, which is where you trade your time for money, like a 9-to-5 job. There is passive income, where you invest your money into something and then it just makes you money based off that investment. So like a rental property, you buy it for $100,000, it makes you $1,000 a month, but you don't have to do anything. That's passive income. And I use quotations because passive is used loosely a lot in the financial world. And then also there is portfolio income, which would be something like a flip property. Or a portfolio income is just basically where you buy something for X amount and then sell it for more. So if you buy it for $50, sell it for $100, that is portfolio income. So I read that article, and when I was reading that article, I had never thought about passive income before, or even portfolio income as a way of labeling them. Like I knew people owned things that had made them money even though they weren't working on it physically, like trading their physical time for it. But she pointed out that people really strive to get just passive assets, just passive income assets to help them pay for things in life. And I was like, well, I've definitely done a portfolio income style before because I used to flip cars when I was in a body shop, so I'd make some money on cars. So I was already naturally doing that. And then she talked about how earned income was one of the worst ways to make money because you're trading all your time for money and you only have so much time. And then at the end of the article, she talked about this book right here, and it's called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And she said that it was a book that really changed her mindset as well, and she recommended it, and she said it was a New York Times bestseller or something like that. It says on his book, it says celebrating 20 years as the #1 personal finance book of all time. And I think she might have said something like that. And I was like, if it's the #1 finance book of all time, I should read it. Like that, I want more financial education. I want to learn about money. This is supposed to be the #1 for 20 years. I bought this book back when I was in a body shop, so probably 2018, 2019. But I picked it up. I started reading a little bit of it every night. And it's crazy because I remember reading it. I remember it was pointing out things in my life that I was doing that I realized that I shouldn't be doing. It was like, yeah, you probably do this, and that's probably why you're still here. One of the big things, this is like the biggest thing you can learn from it that I was like, oh, crap, I've been doing this wrong the whole time, is he talks about the rich buy assets and the poor buy liabilities. And what he's saying is it's like what the rich do, the wealthy do, the ones that really make money and have money and stay away from going broke and being broke all the time, is people that when you make money, you take that money and you invest it in something that's going to make you money. And poor people just buy liabilities. So they're buying stuff that's taking money out of their pocket versus like poor people are buying stuff that takes money out of their pocket. Rich people are buying stuff that puts money into their pocket. And so that's like the big lesson with the book. And he talks about how his dad is a teacher and an educator, and he works a 9-to-5 job, and his dad's poor, financially poor. And then he has a friend, and his dad is a businessman, and he's the one that taught himself and his friend all these lessons about money. And so this book just goes down the line of teaching about assets and liabilities, how to look at them, how to change your perspective on. He says like when you're really young, you should work to learn, not work to earn. That's a really big one. And he's just saying like when you're young and you're in your teens and your 20s, don't go out and just try to make the most amount of money, because you're just going to get stuck in this rat race because you're going to look for somebody else to make you money. Like you're depending on somebody else to make you money. So you're going to get this job and you're trying to make as much money as possible. And as long as somebody gives you enough money to stay at that job, you're going to stay there and you're going to get trapped. You're going to stay in that rat race. And he's saying that if you want to have these skills to make your own money in your 20s, you should go out and try to learn all these different skills. And he's talking about like sales skills and talking skills and educational skills and all the skills that you might need to run and own a business. Another really big one for me in here that he taught me was that people have two emotions. You have fear and you have greed. And those two emotions are usually what keeps people broke, what keeps people from going out and starting their own business. And I use broke, and I don't try to be harsh with it. Like I'm just trying to be honest and real about it. And broke can be in a lot of different forms. Broke can still be a really nice house, a new car, and still fed and living a pretty good life, but you're just barely getting by. You're just struggling. And so he talks about fear as it's a big factor, as like because most people don't make that much money and they're scared to go and take that leap to start a business because they don't know if they're going to make money. So their fear is what keeps them back. Also, their fear of losing their house or losing their nice car and all their friends making fun of them and judging them because they failed at what they did. So it's the fear of failure that's holding them back. And he talks about how the longer you hold out, the harder it's going to get, because you get married, you buy a house, you buy all these things, you start having kids. You're just digging yourself deeper and deeper into this hole, this rut that is extremely hard to get out of. And yeah, it does get more and more risky to get out of it. So he talks about the fear is what holds a lot of people back, but also he says greed is one of the biggest reasons that people stay broke. When you're working for somebody else, you're getting a paycheck and they're giving you just enough money. He says job stands for just over broke, J-O-B, just over broke. And he says that when you're getting this paycheck, you're going to go out and buy things. You're going to go out and you want to buy your house. You want to go out and buy this brand new car. You want to buy all these, what he calls doodads, boat, side-by-side, just stupid stuff that doesn't make you money. And you're doing it to just show off, or you think you need a $20,000 to $100,000 vehicle just to drive back and forth to work to, or maybe even some of these guys are wanting to start up a construction company, and instead of driving this old junker truck that does the same thing as this brand new $100,000 truck, they're not making any money because they're spending all of it on the truck. So he just says that greed is another really big factor because most people don't want to give up that opportunity to buy the boat and the side-by-side and the new vehicle and the extra nice house to show off. And he says that's why people just stay broke, because they don't want to quit the job, because they don't want to lose all their stuff. They're like, I'm not willing to eat shit, sorry for my language, but eat shit for a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, however long it takes to get that business afloat. They're not willing to give up. You know, they went out and bought this boat and they have $30,000 in this boat, and they don't want to give up that $30,000 boat because they like it so much. But in reality, it's like that's what's keeping you broke. And I'm not gonna bore you guys with the entire book. If you guys want to learn more from the book, see what the book's really about, I recommend buying the book, reading it. I had to actually read the words and take them in. And I might read a page over and over, or a chapter over and over, until it's really engraved in me. And sometimes I'll read a chapter and then go out and act on it, and then read another chapter and go out and act on it, and just try to like really acclimate myself to what he's saying, because when I read it, it made sense to me. And so when I was reading this book, I was like, this is the answer to get out of the 9-to-5 job. And so when I was in the body shop, I read this, it made sense to me. I started buying real estate. So that's what got me into real estate. That's how my real estate company came about. I was still hungry. I still wanted more. I was still fearful. I still could not take that leap. So I finished this book, loved it. I was going to be a real estate guru at the time, and I was going to try to run all my real estate on the side while also working my 9-to-5 job, because I was just too scared to quit. And then I read Cashflow Quadrant, because I knew I want to get out of my 9-to-5 job. I was just too scared to. And I was actually in real estate, and there was a broker that I was working with at the time. He had read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he recommended me to read Cashflow Quadrant. And he's like, Ryan, have you read Cashflow Quadrant yet? He's like, I know you said you read Rich Dad Poor Dad, but have you read Cashflow Quadrant? And I was like, no. I was like, I think I pretty well got it all I needed to know from Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is such a crazy mindset to have. And he's like, if you ever have the time, Ryan, pick up Cashflow Quadrant and read it. So I bought it. And let me just preference this too. I was reading these books at night when I came home, but also I would buy them on Audible. And when I was working in a buy shop painting cars, I was re-listening to each chapter. So I was just like reminding myself, just going over all the content that was in the books to really remind myself. So I was just fully consuming myself day and night in these books just to try to really learn it and get it. And so in here, the big thing with Cashflow Quadrant is he has this picture right here. I hope you guys can see it okay. But it has 4 quadrants. It's just like basically a T. And it has all these quadrants in it. And it's ESBI in all the quadrants. And he talks about like who's going to be financially successful based off their quadrant. And so he has E up here, which stands for employee. He has S down here, which stands for self-employed. And then he has B up here, stands for big business. And then he has I down here for investor. And so most people start out in the E quadrant. That's what schools teach us, is to be a really good employee. That's why when you're in school, you get graded and you want to get an A on your test, because the employers are going to be looking at your grades. And so you want to be the best student as possible, which translate over into being the best employee as possible. Or it's a really good indicator. So most people are trained to be an employee, and he said this is where you're going to be broke. This is where you're going to trade your time for money, and your employer is just going to barely keep you from being broke, just over broke. And he said a lot of people, if they get to a point where they want to get out of being a employee, they jump to the S quadrant. And that's self-employed. And they hop into the self-employed quadrant and they think they're rich. And they think that they escaped the employee route. They're doing their own thing and they're so much better off already. And he talks about how the S quadrant is almost worse than the E quadrant. And you can do this S quadrant and you can do it and you can be better off than you are in the E quadrant. But the S quadrant, a lot of times people fall into this thing where all they did was buy their job. So say like if I was in a body shop and I was spraying cars for a living, doing the mud work, all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, you know what, I want to go out and start my own body shop. So then I start my own body shop and now I'm self-employed. And he talks about how a lot of these guys, whether it's construction or body shops or any type of labor intense job, which is what most people go into, is now all I'm doing is I'm doing all the work. I'm trying to do the estimates, I'm trying to do the body work, I'm trying to spray, and I'm actually working more because I still have to do my bookkeeping, I still have to do my taxes, I still have to do everything that I was doing before, plus everything it takes to run a business. So the S quadrant can be an extremely hard one to be in, and you can get stuck in there and you can actually end up in a worse situation. And there's ways to get out of it. There's ways to get around it. There's ways to get out of it. But you're still trading a lot of time for money here. And if you guys watch my vlogs, I am still in this quadrant trying to get over to the B quadrant. That's where my company Is Myc came in. That's where my rental companies come in. I'm trying to, a lot of my business, even my gym, like if you guys watch my vlogs, I'm not at the gym 24/7. I'm not there physically cleaning and doing stuff. I do go in and check in, but right now a lot of my businesses are seeds. Like the gym's 4 years old, Myc 6 months old. So my rental company's 7 years old as well. So I'm trying to build these passive income businesses that I don't have to be there, because I could have bought a body shop, but I decided to buy a gym that I thought, I was like, man, if people were coming 24/7, everything was automated, it could free up a lot of time in my life, and it has. So the goal is not to get to self-employed. The goal is to get to B, big business or I, investor. So big business, he talks about, is a corporation. A corporation has CEOs, it has presidents, it has marketing guys. It's 500 plus employees, and everybody in the business, the big business, is keeping the business afloat. You know, you have your own bookkeepers, you have your own accountants, you have workers putting the product together, whatever it is, you have shipping and receiving, you have all these intricate pieces to this big business that keep it alive. And that's where the corporations come in, because also corporations pay less in taxes. You're not connected to your corporation. If it gets sued or it goes bankrupt, you're not a part of it. You don't lose your house over it. So big business was designed by business owners when the government started to change a lot of things as far as trying to take money from business owners. So that's where the business owners came up with what was called a corporation that stood as its own entity away from the person, and they get tax benefits that most other people don't get because of the size of business that they are, the money that they generate, and the amount of American citizens that they employ. So they get a lot of benefits that a traditional person doesn't, and there's a lot of securities that come along with big business too. So that's what really got me thinking I need to get to the big business side. I need to start an e-commerce business that I could scale up and grow, and that's where Myc came, because when I was in a body shop, I was telling myself, you just need to get out of this body shop. I can't start a corporation tomorrow. I don't have the money to start something. And I didn't have an idea to start either. So I was like, I need to get out of the E, jump to the S, and then from the S, I'll go to the B. So from E, I started rental companies in the gym, and from the S, I started Myc, and I'm trying to pull myself over into the B quadrant. And that's where we're at. And I believe I will get there. It's a crazy goal. I want to have a business with 500 plus employees. I think I will get there. I'm not going to stop until I get there. And then the I quadrant, which is where a lot of people want to be. They just were like, well, I want to have the money and I just want to be able to invest my money in stocks and give it to people to invest the money for me. And then I just live off the cash flow. And that's great. That's a great place to be. Me personally, I think that's a very unfulfilling quadrant to be in if you're just in the I quadrant, because you're not really doing much with your life. Like, yeah, sure, you're giving money away and you're getting to see it do some stuff, but like as a human being, you need like things to physically do every day. You need things that are fulfilling, things that you're making an impact on the world with. I probably drug this video out for much longer than I expected to. I want to keep it short. I want to keep it a just quick Sunday video vlog for you guys. But one thing I want to know, is one of these 2 books of interest to you guys? Like, is this something that you guys have read before, or now that you guys watch this video, you guys are gonna read this book? Let me know down in the comments below if this is something you've read or you're gonna pick up immediately and read. I've read the book multiple times. I love the book. I think it's got great lessons in it. I think kids should be reading this book from a very young age. I think there's lessons in here that you should be teaching your kids, because they're not teaching it in school. And I just think everyone could benefit from at least knowing it. You don't have to be your own business owner. That's perfectly fine if you don't want to be. But if you want to be your own business owner, you should have that ability too. Like, that there's nothing wrong with not coming from money and wanting to have money. Like, that is perfectly okay. And I think these books are what are going to get you guys to that point. So please, if you haven't yet, check the books out. I don't think you'll regret it. If you guys made it this far in the video, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I hope you guys have a fantastic day doing whatever you're doing. Hopefully it's reading this book, or buying it on Amazon, or picking it up on Audible and listening to it. And I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.